Okay, let's dive right in. Over the next few minutes, we're going to talk about why the old leadership playbook is basically obsolete and what you actually need to do to keep up. We are talking about a massive recalibration of what it even means to be a leader, and trust me, it's happening right now.
So let's just start with a quick reality check, shall we? This isn't some far-off theory. This is about what's happening in your office, on your team, today. So I have to ask, is your leadership style really ready for what's coming in 2026? Because honestly, the cost of being unprepared, it's just staggering.
And when I say staggering, I mean $8.8 trillion. Yeah, you heard that right. According to Gallup, that is the annual global cost of employees who have just checked out. To put that in perspective, that number is bigger than the entire economies of Japan and Germany combined. This isn't just some statistic. It's a huge flashing red light that signals a global leadership crisis.
What we're all living through right now is something we're calling the Great Recalibration. That old top-down command and control style, the one that might have worked back in the 20th century. Well, today it's a direct recipe for that $8 trillion problem. The modern workforce is demanding a whole new kind of partnership, one that's built on trust, on transparency, and, you guessed it, on technology.
So, what's the #1 rule of leadership in the age of AI? It's kind of a paradox, but it's all about the humans. It's this fascinating twist, right? As machines get smarter and take over all the routine stuff, our uniquely human skills, our empathy, our creativity, our judgment, they suddenly become our greatest superpowers, because that's the one thing AI just can't replicate.
So first things first, let's just forget the term soft skills. We're talking about power skills now. And this isn't just some clever rebranding, it's a fundamental reevaluation. So why the change? Well, because in a world where technology handles the what, these skills, they determine the how. They are not nice-to-haves anymore. They are the absolute core drivers of performance, of trust, of innovation. They are, quite literally, the new currency of leadership.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The data from the World Economic Forum, right here on this chart, proves it. I mean, look at the top skills needed by 2026. Yeah, sure, analytical thinking is still key, but look what comes right after it. Resilience, emotional intelligence, social skills. The message for leaders could not be any clearer. The future of leadership is profoundly human.
And this new focus on human skills, it's changing everything, including how we think about things like well-being in DEI. We are moving way beyond the performative perks like yoga apps and fruit bowls, and we're getting past the compliance checkboxes. The future is about intentionally designing a workplace where people don't just show up to survive. They actually thrive, where every single person feels they can contribute their best, most innovative work.
Now listen to this. Professor Kevin Fong is a doctor who works in some of the most extreme high-stakes environments you can imagine. For him, inclusion isn't some corporate buzzword. It can be a matter of life and death. He knows that when you're in a crisis, to get the absolute best outcome, you need every single voice at the table. That is a seriously powerful lesson for all of us.
Okay, so if the future is so deeply human, where does technology fit into all of this? Well, that brings us to our second big theme, the tech symbiosis. You see, the story here isn't humans versus machines. It's about visionary leaders creating a true partnership between humans and machines so we can achieve way more together than either of us could alone.
And if you're still not quite convinced, just look at the numbers. CEOs who are digitally savvy are absolutely crushing their competition. We're talking more than double the annual revenue growth. And why? It's because they understand how to use technology to create a powerful, undeniable competitive advantage. It's really that simple.
But let's be super clear about something. This is not about every leader suddenly needing to become a coder. Not at all. This is about developing what we call AI fluency, which is the strategic ability to ask the right questions of the technology and then brilliantly combine the raw power of AI with your own uniquely human judgment and wisdom. That is the new leadership superpower.
Of course, this new partnership with AI, it's not all going to be smooth sailing. You need to get ready for something called AI work slop, which is where bad automation actually creates more work, not less. And you need to prepare for the ethical minefield of digital doppelgangers, not to mention the rise of AI-powered hiring fraud. So, yeah, welcome to the new Wild West of management.
In this complex new world, leadership itself has to become more fluid. As Professor Fong puts it so brilliantly, it's like a ball that gets passed to whoever has the right expertise at that specific moment. And here's a little thought to chew on. In the future, sometimes that person with the expertise, it might even be an AI.
So, how in the world do you actually develop these crucial new human and tech skills? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it brings us right to our third and final theme, the new growth playbook. Because the old way of doing learning and development, it just doesn't cut it anymore.
Let's be totally honest with ourselves. For decades, most leadership training has been a colossal waste of time and money. A staggering 72%, think about that, 72% of leaders say the training they get is generic and completely irrelevant to the real-world problems they face every single day. Is it any wonder so many are disengaged? We're just throwing money at a problem we haven't even tried to understand?
David Blake, the CEO of Degreed, just hits the nail on the head with this analogy. You can't learn to be a great leader just by watching some videos, any more than you can become a marathon runner by watching a race on TV. Leadership is a practice, not a theory. It's about doing the hard, consistent work day in and day out.
So you know that old model of having one single mentor for your entire career? Yeah, that's dead. The future is all about building a personal board of directors, a diverse, dynamic network of people who can support you, challenge you, and help you grow in all the different ways you're going to need.
And you know what? It's time for learning and development departments to actually prove their value. Seriously, who cares if people showed up for the training? The only question that matters now is, did it make a difference to the business? Did it actually move the needle on revenue, on innovation, on retention? If the answer is no, then why on earth are we even doing it?
So after all of that, where do we go from here? Let's pull these three big themes together and define what the clear, unambiguous mandate is for every leader heading into 2026.
Human-centered, strategically astute, and adaptable by design. This right here, this is the new trinity of leadership. It's not just a nice list of qualities, it's the actual blueprint for success in a world of constant, unpredictable change.
And let me be perfectly clear about this. This isn't about learning a few new tricks or adding another buzzword to your resume. This is about a fundamental rewiring of your leadership DNA. It's about changing who you are as a leader, not just what you do.
Look, the future of leadership isn't some destination we eventually arrive at. It's a choice we have to make every single day. You can be a spectator or you can be a participant. You can be a victim of this massive change or you can be an agent of it. The choice, well, it's yours, and the time is now. So, are you ready to lead?